Are you being haunted by protein?
This recipe has 18 grams of protein, 44 grams of protein, 88 grams of protein.
Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 280. It is the last day of the week, aka the Big Bang Attack workout. I am feeling pretty decent, a little tired, but it is what it is. But anyways, to the main subject matter at hand today. Weight loss myths that are still prevalent to the normies. So, the reason why I wanted to talk about this was because a lot of misinformation bits thrown out there, and I know that I'm not going to be necessarily the bastion for everything. I'm still a little bit of a chunky boy. It is what it is, but still, there are certain things that I've learned so far in my journey that I can tell you are just prevalent still. I have a couple of stories in there as well that I see as I am surrounded by, well, just regular people trying to lose weight around me in a office. Now, obviously, there are things that I would love to say to these people, but I'm not going to be the one to be the bearer of bad news. Now, I'm going to just talk mostly about certain things that I still see perpetuated, the idea that there are certain things that people cannot discard from themselves, things that for some reason just are still in the popular stream, and just general like weight loss myths that I still see to this day, which is just insane. I will say this, I did do an episode about my thyroid right here, so anybody really using that as an excuse is really just using it as an excuse. Yeah, no, you can lose weight, 150% you can lose weight, it's all the same, but we'll talk about that probably near the end. But anyways, with that being said, we'll get into all the prevalent stuff and all the stuff that still exists and some of the duality of people that people do not realize, and how many people don't realize how much a calorie is for real, or how much any food that they eat has worth in calories. We'll talk about that a lot and more when we get to Mother Base. All right, so started this day off with single arm lat pull down, which was pretty good. But anyways, back to the main subject matter for today. Weight loss myths that are still prevalent with the normies. Basically, I kind of was like, what is still prevalent with people nowadays? Because I saw many videos, and the fact that this still goes around in the fact that people will blame other things for their reasons as to why they can't lose weight other than not being able to just not eat, and things like the amount of absorption of protein in certain foods, which can make a difference, but realistically, it's not that much. Their thyroid, which can make a difference, but not that much. And things like that, where realistically all of the excuses are only like 5% of what they're actually doing here, or that calories in versus calories out doesn't work for them, which is laughable at best. We'll come back to that. But I think I see enough of these things that are still popular amongst just people in general, like the Gen Pop. It's kind of astonishing. The first thing I see when I look up these trends, just because I was like, all right, let me look at a short or something just to see what is the first fat loss thing that I see. The first video I come up with, the person says doing a 7-day cleanse of just liquids. I immediately turned off the video and realized, wow, people are still stupid and will not follow things that they probably should. Realistically, they will just end up doing stupid shit like this and then making it so dieting just doesn't work for them. Now, of course, you don't have to go to the extremes of, like I do, let's say, wait every single meal out and do all this other tracking stuff. Of course, that works a lot and very, 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 very well, and makes it so you can actually stick to it. But hey, whatever, that's just my opinion. But for some reason there is a weird idea that these 7-day cleanses are like the first step in order to get your health in check, which is quite astonishing that it's still a thing. Another thing, just generally for some reason, is still popular are those drinks. For some reason, it's always drinks that are like the weight loss drink that people will sip on. One that I've heard of before is the lemon and cayenne diet, where they're just going to drink that for like 3 days, which is so asinine to me because it's literally absolutely nothing. I don't think that most people who do these types of weird like diet things don't understand that they never work and that you're losing water weight. That's it. Like that's all you're doing. I think if people were to explain that to them, they would probably understand that what they're doing is absolutely bottom of the barrel nothingness. They're going to gain that weight back within moments. I think the biggest thing is the popularity of certain diets. You have keto, you have paleo, vegan, vegetarian, raw vegetarian, Atkins, South Beach diet, which was a thing for quite a while. I remember seeing that book everywhere for a good chunk of my life. But still, those are the diets that, at the end of the day, yes, they are slightly different, and yes, they might actually do well with your body. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it's literally calories in versus calories out. That's all they are. That's why it works. All of them across the board work because they fall under the same principle, which is calories in versus calories out for the most part. Because you'll have some people who are, let's say, vegetarians or vegans, but all they eat are Oreos and Doritos purple bag, and all of a sudden wonder why they're not losing weight even though they're vegan, because they're eating these vegan foods, but the vegan foods are just as fattening as regular foods because it's all about the calories. It doesn't necessarily even matter. I have a boss who still believes having fat in foods is what makes a person fat, which that was something from the 90s. It's been 30 years since that's been debunked, and yet for some reason people still hold on to it. It's like one of these things, once you hear one thing, all of a sudden you hold on to it for dear life. Right now, there is an abundance of everything having protein. The thing is, though, about that is that protein in general is good. There's nothing wrong with getting a bunch of protein. There's absolutely nothing wrong. You could go pound for pound with your body weight and have nothing but benefits from just getting that much protein. It's the one of the three, because it's the other two get vilified, carbs and fats, understandably so. And why understandably so? They have more effects that can cause calories to go up. So for example, carbs, it's easy to get a bunch of carbs, thus a lot of excess calories. And fats, eat a bunch of fats, excess calories. It's all about that. I'm very much a hard believer on calories in versus calories out, as well as if it fits your macros. I am willing to accept certain things aren't as good as other things, obviously. There are certain levels of calories that you should probably get from foods, obviously. But I understand that because of the fact that I'm if it fits your macros type of person, that means I get to actually enjoy my food, occasionally have a good time with regular ass food or like artificial food, because it doesn't necessarily matter. It's not the weird diet where you can only eat meats and cheese and go into ketosis, or whatever the hell an Atkins diet consists of, or whatever other fad diet, or God forbid a juice cleanse, which is the stupidest shit ever, which at the end of the day nobody ever really follows or can stick to or keep the weight off, because they follow these stupid ideas when realistically, if they just followed CICO, calories in versus calories out, you're good. You're just set. And then there you go. You'll be more aware of what you're eating. After watching this video, if you hear somebody saying something along the lines of, oh, you need to do a water cleanse or some type of juice cleanse, or you have to go into this diet or that diet, just immediately ignore them and understand that they don't know what they're talking about and move on. And we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed, none. Exercises skipped, also none. Managed to get everything in, thankfully. But anyways, back to the main subject matter at hand here. Weight loss myths that are still perpetuated and or idiotic things that a lot of normies do. That's what the basic premise of this was going to be about, because a lot of people don't realize that literally it's all just calories in versus calories out. It's literally the only thing that really matters. Everything else is superfluous in the sense that it's a 90-10 type of deal. 10% does count, like micronutrients and certain dietary restrictions. Obviously, there are certain things that some people shouldn't eat that, just hereditarily wise wouldn't make sense for them. But realistically, it's calories in versus calories out. People who make it such a big deal are kind of stupid and don't realize that they try to nuance it. It's not nuanced at all. It really sucks because people overestimate how much they actually eat, as referenced in episodes like these, like I've done before. So it happens. It's not necessarily that much of a next level thing. It's easy to overeat. It's so easy. It is astonishingly easy. Companies and factories make it so easy that it's almost a mistake to eat a regular portion size. That's how much it feels like it. But that's kind of a whole other subject for a whole other day. But the main thing is, as long as you're doing what you need to do consistently and making sure you're in a deficit, everything else doesn't really matter. And now there are a couple of exceptions, obviously, but I already said that. You just need to stick to something. If you're watching this and you are a person that thinks that they have to do a specific diet or another, stop it. Just literally a calorie counting app and a food scale. You're fine after that. Once you figure that out, you'll see how much you're probably overeating, and then you'll realize, oh, that's what's happening. And that's it. I think a lot of people underestimate how much they're overeating, and that is the biggest issue. They really do underestimate it. It is something that will always be an issue, and I don't think will ever really change unless we change like all food habits. Really, things aren't going to really ever change because of just it's easier to keep us fatter for a lot of different reasons, but also it's easy to overeat. I mean, food is just so palatable nowadays. You just want to keep going, so it is what it is. But that's a different story for a different day, kind of in a way. But with that being said, tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this one. This one was more of a random one. Just wanted to get this off my chest because it was something that was bothering me all the time, and I saw that one first video, and it kind of pissed me off as well. Please leave your comments and any story that you may or may not have of somebody that you know that went down the wrong rabbit hole when it comes to trying to lose weight and or weight loss. Please let me know in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like it. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please stay safe out there. Stay cool out there. I will see you in the next one. Keep it heavy. Stay safe and take care. Peace.